we assess whether a realtor is a good referrer, right? Because like just because, I mean, you can look at the data and maybe they closed 10 deals last year. But if it shows that six of those were buyers and those six buyers were, went with five different lenders, um, we could discern from that potentially they're really not a very good referrer of the buyer to a lending partner. They kind of just let the buyers find their own lending partners. I mean, there are realtors out there who actually perceive it as it's too much risk to make the referral because it can make me look bad. So I'm just going to let them know that, they should go online and search. I mean, how do we uncover that in the dialogue so they're not coming back into the office with a smile on your face? You don't have the answers to all those questions.
Yeah, awesome question. And here's what I would answer to this, because most realtors don't. The most realtors that are in that realm don't perceive a loan officer as a value add to themselves. And so, how do you uncover that? How do you do different things? One of the things that I like to do is ask them an expectation of, tell me a time when a loan transaction went really well. What happened? Tell me about that. Like, what was the communication like? What was everything else? And then I simply ask them a very simple question. Did you use that person again? It immediately lets me know how they answer that question, how loyal they are, and how much they perceive that as value. And then if they don't answer that well, I ask them another simple question. I go a second deeper on there. Tell me what would be valuable to you from a loan officer that you could see me as a partner. Is there something that you're not getting from a loan officer that you would perceive as valuable? Because I talked about it earlier that my goal is to sell them. Actually, I say this in a lot of it. My goal is to sell you better than you can sell yourself. And I'm damn good at it. Like, that is my biggest value proposition. If you have a cash buyer, I want to still talk to them so I can sell you better than you can sell yourself, Tim. I want to say the things that you can't say. Those are really important to a lot of realtors. And a lot of people just don't say it that way. They assume that that's going to happen or something of that nature, but that value add goes a long way. Second is, I want them to know that I'm following up on their leads, and that communication of what's going on with their leads makes them feel like it's a business to them. Because a lot of times what I do that I think is really important from a soft sale perspective is every week I'll do an Excel program with the lead that they sent me, their name, their phone number, their email address, and the notes of the last time I talked to them, whether that was closed loan, current transaction, somebody that's in credit repair, somebody that is out shopping for homes. And I do this because a lot of really good buyer's agents, to talk about personality profile, are high eyes, and they're terrible at follow-up. They forget. It just happens so easily for a lot of them. So when you think about it, if I can become the person who's basically creating some structure in their life, they're going to be able to close more transactions. And they're going to think that I did it, but really they did it. They're the ones who are reaching out to those clients more often. They just forget to do it. And they create that personal connection, the good ones. And so with the new changes in NAR and everything else, you're going to see a lot of realtors probably leave the business. And the good ones are going to be really good at articulating that. One of the things we started creating was a buyer's presentation now, because they have listing presentations, right? But nobody's created this buyer's presentation of all the things that they do, kind of step by step of everything else. And we do it without focusing on ourselves, but focusing more on the realtor, so they can hand something to somebody, like a takeaway after they're done having that conversation, showing them the value.